156.
Oh, okay.
But I went to know Scott.
You ready?
Yes.
Mayor, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council for June 2nd, 2011 to order at 8:02 p.m. On roll call, council members. Catamagna.
Here.
Castiglia.
Here.
Conboy.
Here.
Chawinski.
Here.
Work.
Here.
Boncino.
Here.
Mayor Mola.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Everybody please rise for our prayer and flag salute. Oh God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting with your trust of your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and plant in a clean sense of justice for you and our neighbor. Guide us in our deliberations so our decisions will always please you and bring peace and happiness to our community. Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Whereas Chapter 231, the Public Laws of the State of New Jersey requires the commencement of every meeting as stated by the presiding officer. Now therefore be advised the meeting requirements for this meeting have been met by publishing an annual notice in the Record of Hackensack, the Herald News of Woodland Park, and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk as well as in a public place within the municipal building and by notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted on January 1, 2012. If you have a cell phone, please shut the cell phone off. Do not put it on vibration. And if you want to watch this meeting on your cable, channel 77, Tuesday, 12 noon, 3 days, Tuesday, 12 noon, Thursday, 4 p.m., and Friday, 11 a.m. Thank you.
Mayor, at this time, under the approval of minutes, we have the regular meeting of May 19th, 2011, and the executive session of May 26th, 2011.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Boncino, Mr. Catamagna, discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members. Catamagna.
Yeah.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Chawinski.
Yes.
Work.
Yes.
Boncino.
Yes.
Motion carries. Under the consent agenda this evening, Mayor, we have Resolution 150-11, authorization to execute stipulation of settlement for the Bank of America. Resolution 15111, authorized to execute stipulation of settlement for Route 46 Elmwood Park LP by Lukoil North America. Resolution 152-11, approve annual block party for the residents of East Washington Avenue. Resolution 153-11, authorize refund in the recreation account for Lopez, that's related to a reimbursement for after-school care. Resolution 154-11, execute agreement with the Borough of Fairlawn for the use of Memorial Pool for Elmwood Park residents. Resolution 155-11, reappoint program coordinator for the 2011 Municipal Alliance Grant, Barbara Despodo. Resolution 156-11, designate representative and alternate to the Bergen County Development Commission for the year from June 2011 to June 2012. Resolution 157-11, authorize public auction for the impound vehicles. Resolution 158-11, authorize transfer of plenary retail liquor license for the Twisted Elm, that was formerly the Elmwood Barn. And Resolution 159-11, authorize Richard A. Mola, Mayor, to sign the New Jersey Department of Transportation Environmental Protection application for the Riverfront Residential LLC extension to operate the Public Works water facilities.
May I have a motion, gentlemen?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Castiglia. Second?
Second.
Mr. Boncino. Any discussion?
On, Mayor, Resolution 155-11, do we discuss a stipend for, to appoint, Barbara?
Through you, Mayor. This stipend is directly associated with the county grant. Formerly, there was a staff member at Elmwood Park High School who coordinated this program. Last year, right before the grant was due, he indicated that he did not want to continue in that position. We had to rush, I believe it was brought up at a work session, for Barbara to take over those responsibilities. And the grant is consistent with what it has been all along. And
So it's a grant?
And it's county funds, so there's no
Okay.
tax money
That is
from
what
our
we-
budget going towards this position.
All right, no problem. That's fine.
Call the roll, please.
Council members: Catamagna.
Yes.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Truinski.
Yes.
Work. Yes. Bonsino. Yes. Motion carries. Mayor, this evening under reports, we have the report from the Recreation Department, the Police Department, and the Municipal Court.
Motion to receive and file.
So moved.
Mr. Quinzino, Mr. Castiglia, discussion, all in favor? Opposed, so ordered. Committee reports, who wants to go first? Frank?
Yeah, I ask you to replace me.
I will do that.
Did you do that?
Next meeting,
Or next week?
next work.
Okay, anyhow, in the meantime, yesterday, these two kids came, Justin and Jason Leader, to my classroom. Finally, I was able to have them. As I told before, the Italian Club, Moore Park, we sold all the cannoli and the St. Joseph Zeppeli. We were able to donate $1,000 to their cause, so I hope it went to good.
Good.
For something good. So the kids had a good time in my classroom. Also, I have my Cecilia card in my classroom, and that I love so much. And I saw the kids that I gave it to them. So I have nothing else for now, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Truinski?
Yes, Mayor. Last public meeting I was absent, but I did make the Joint Insurance Fund meeting before I left for vacation. But this is the report here. I'll leave it on file with the clerk. Lost time accidents are still down. It seems that their videos and seminars on safety are paying off through all the towns, and they're very happy with that. On another note, the Municipal Excess Liability Joint Insurance Fund has issued an amendment to the crime and dishonest worker policy in our workplace, which will be on file with the clerk also. There's some new regulations in here, Keith. On another note, I was at the county today. There was a meeting with the 50 towns for shared services. The DCA chairman, deputy chairman was up there today, deputy commissioner rather, along with the county executive and county administrator and numerous mayors from other towns and councilmen and other people. They discussed in length about the sharing of services in towns and how it's moving forward. And they're at our disposal, they said, if we have any and all questions regarding shared service, they'd be more than willing to jump in and help us with anything. But right now there is two police departments in the process of being merged, which they wouldn't mention until it's done, but it is a go. It's going to save a lot of money, they say. The kinks worked out all the little problems they had, and they said it looks like it's going to be a model for other towns. On another note, I did mention, I saw Mr. Ron Christinger about our county park. I ran into him. I asked him if he'd be willing to set up another meeting so we can discuss some numbers on this park. And he said in another week or so he'd be interested in sitting down with us.
I'm not sure if you were at the last meeting, but I did speak to him, and he wants to just take a ride around the park, so I'll
You
go.
know, but Mayor, he was out there. He was out, and matter of fact, he was out there about a month before.
Yeah, he told me that.
Yeah, because I did run into him out there on Gilbert Ave. He walked the whole park. He's aware of the situation.
Okay.
One more thing. Let's see what I had here. On the ordinances, I've been around the Florence Place Avenue because we did have a few complaints about the parking ordinance we revised. And I've got a lot of positive feedback, even though I know we had 6 complaints about it. But I've been getting more good than bad. And also on the ordinance front, I did talk to Tom Dutch today, and he will be coming in to talk to us about his sticker parking because we're interested in resurrecting that. All right.
Good.
Thank you.
Mr. Castiglia?
Yes, Mayor, not much going on. The planning board, everybody remembers the Valero station on the corner of the Boulevard and Market used to be Bruce's Auto Clinic. Bruce retired a little while ago and the business was taken over by somebody else. Well, now the property is going to be bought by someone new. We have a cleaning service coming in on Market Street also. These are applications that are still pending right now. They haven't been voted on yet. The cleaning service will just have offices. It won't be trucks running in and out of there doing cleaning. It'll just be their main office. Over on Mulliner Drive, the old Pitney Bowes building, there's a commercial kitchen equipment supplier coming in there. Then again, no contractors, no machinery will be stored there. They sell mostly, to commercial contractors. It's over the phone and email and other ways. They don't come into the building. Kip Avenue, the work should be starting over there on Monday. The road repaving program is out for bid. Everybody knows that. Any work probably won't start there until August on our regular road repaving. And one reminder, to everybody. It's the yard waste season again. I've seen some yard waste sitting out there on the wrong day, and at the end of the day, it was still sitting there. It goes out, this is a reminder we do every year, it goes out on the same day as your regular recycling. Paper and cans, that's when your yard waste should be going out to the same day. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Wirt?
Thank you, Mayor. The Elmer Park Health Department continues to offer the free adult consultation and child health care clinics to the residents of Elmer Park. The next adult consultation clinic, which includes consultation with a registered nurse from Hackensack Hospital and free blood pressure screening, will be held on June 21st, which is a Tuesday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the private clinic room in the municipal building. The next child health care clinic, which also includes free immunizations for infants up to 18 years old, will be held on July 7th, Thursday morning from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. And the child, just to let you know, child health clinic is by appointment only, so please call the Elmer Park Board of Health to set up an appointment. You can reach them at area code 201-796-1457, extension 604, to set up your appointment. The Elmer Park continues to offer the free vaccinations. Now, I've been mentioning 4, there's only 2. 2 of them, they've used the other 2, they're all gone. The only 2 vaccines that are available now are the Menactra, which is a vaccine used for prevention of meningitis, and the Tdap, which is prevention for the tetanus, diphtheria, and whooping cough. So you only have 2 available, the rest are gone. And basically, these vaccines were provided by the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, so a program, and they're provided at no charge. You can get these vaccinations at the next adult consultation clinic, which is June 21st, or you can make an appointment and stop by the Elmer Park Board of Health, any other time. The Elmer Park Board of Health also held the CMAC blood test on May 17, was pretty well attended, as 66 residents came down to the clinic. The Elmer Park Board of Health also sponsored a free rabies clinic on May 18th. Once again, even despite the light rain, 42 residents came down to get their pets vaccinated. They are planning to have another free rabies clinic in the future, since it was bad weather at that date. The next homeowners meeting will be held on June 29th, which is the last Wednesday of the month, in the all-purpose room in the municipal building at 7:30. And the guest speaker will be our own borough administrator, Borough Clerk Keith Kazmart. So if you want to stop by and listen to him and pick up any news you might have about the homeowners. And then, like I said, the mayor and council are very close to setting up the sharing services with the Board of Health. As Rich mentioned, a lot of towns are sharing services. It saves a lot of taxpayer dollars. And it seems like Saddlebrook is pretty interested in, sharing services with our Board of Health. We are also looking at adding more responsibilities to our health department in order to provide additional savings for our town. And these sharing services of Saddlebrook also provides us an opportunity to pick up additional grant money, because basically you got more people involved, the population increased, so it gives us an opportunity to see if we can get more grant money. And that's it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Conboy?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much. I'm going to go going to pass on finance report tonight. I would like to go into the recreation report. Folks, I'm going to try to go quick here, but I do have, I hope the mayor and council will indulge me tonight. I do have a little bit of a lengthy report to give. Over the past several years, our recreation department has come under very much scrutiny by a handful of people in our community. And these categories, I was thinking about what I was going to say tonight, and these categories are broken down in almost in 3 different groups. Since our rec director was hired, and this, as we all know, Ms. Pugliese is our third serving rec director. But since she's arrived on the scene, she had received a lot of friction and rejection by a lot of folks. First, by the folks who all applied for her job and did not get the job. These folks make it their mission to go around the community and to do everything they can to razz up the people. When something does go wrong, they're the first to say, hey, well, we got to get rid of her. We know this to be true. I know they'll tell you it's not, but folks, it's true. Just hang around any of the ball fields or the side of the courts or a soccer field. You'll know exactly the individuals who I'm referring to. And then another group over the last few years, even to the point where they accused her of not having the proper credentials. And I have to exclude this one particular member of this group, Councilman Catamagna, because he never attacked her during the years he ran, or here publicly, but the candidates that ran along him a few years back, the two women who ran, had never even met Ms. Pugliese. If you remember, folks, if you watch the shows, if you watch the meeting, it wasn't until a public meeting, very close to the election, that one of the candidates had met Ms. Pugliese, which I always found very interesting. So I see there's a political angle of it as well. So she has come under a lot of scrutiny, a lot of attack, and of course now the Board of Education has their focus on the Recreation Department as well. And we've all seen, I'm sure, the letter Mr. Tomko sent home in the backpack on Friday over the holiday weekend. I wish he had known he was doing that. Maybe he would have sent home our summer camp flyer. And of course, the recent article in the community news. But I do want to make a few points here, a few things that need to be noted. Since Ms. Pugliese has arrived, I think you should know some of there's many accomplishments, but these are the ones that have been lagging around for a long time. It may seem repetitive, but a new sprinkler system was installed at Borough Field, a much needed one. It gets very heavily used and so forth, and that got installed. And all the things I'm going to mention came to no cost to the taxpayers. All this was done through funds or taken from the designated trust account. Has no bearing on the tax levy, as you may be led to believe. A new sprinkler system at Borough Field, which everybody enjoys and has complimented very greatly on it. We put new lights around the Major League Field. We all know those poles, some of the coaches are here in the audience, those poles were swaying for a long time. We put in sidewalks and parking lots around all the parks where we could, and then put in little pocket parking lots to get cars off the streets. Around many parts around town, we put in new playground equipment. Almost every park has gotten some type of upgrade. We've cleaned up inside the rec building, got it painted, did a lot of things, being refurbished, all the rooms. We put new lighting in the gymnasium that is heavily needed, and we're currently looking into a new gymnasium floor. It's a costly option, but we are looking into it. We're also looking to do something with the gymnasium with removing the wall that splits it in half. We can come up with a different system that many high schools use today to help divide it even further so that the gymnasium can be used in other capacities, not just by two groups, but maybe by multiple groups. We also resurfaced the spray grounds. Today, that spray grounds is now a model for many towns. It's featured in a lot of brochures, and if you haven't seen it, check it out. It looks absolutely wonderful. And we've done a lot of changes with the spray grounds, like offering weekend passes this year, and so forth. Obviously, I'm going over a lot of things you've heard before, but I think it's important that we all refocus back on what's been happening down at the Recreation Center. We've just recently purchased a new bus. By law, it can't look like a school bus, so it's out getting painted right now as we speak. And of course, that will be rolling down very soon around our streets. We're currently working with, as Councilman Chewinski mentioned, and the mayor, for some time now. You know, we've all been talking about, we're trying to really move diligently with the county now about the Garfield Waterworks. That will enhance, that will be a future enhancement, whether it's a walking park or enhancing the current ball fields there now and so forth, but it has a lot of potential for it to be explored. We've had an online registration component for residents, so to make it a lot easier for parents who are hardworking taxpayers in the community who can't get to the recreation to register up their child. They can now do it from the freedom of their home or while they're at work. We've remodeled the HUD building, all through donations. It looks it looks much neater. It got new windows, doors, everything, painting, and so forth. The kitchen was cleaned up, and it looks great. We're currently waiting. We already got approval. Very shortly, new work will be starting on English Avenue. We're going to be enhancing the field there, leveling it, putting in a larger size soccer field to enhance and help our constantly growing program, along with a new playground equipment for the folks that live in that section of town. So English Avenue is getting done soon. And again, as I mentioned, all of this, all done with no burden back to the taxpayers. As I go on to the recreation report, I would just like to, again, continue to promote things that are happening. We currently have the cheapest summer camp in town. It's only $290. I'm also very proud to announce, to let all of you know, that all the late fees have now been waived. So even though you're coming up on the date that you'd be approaching for late fees, all the late fees are going to be waived this year. And folks, I would like to make a point regarding the late fees. This has been something that's been going on for a long time, not just in the Elmwood Park Recreation. It goes on everywhere. Every community that runs a summer camp or other organizations, whether it's the Boys and Girls Club, the Y, they all have a late fee. Because at some point, you have to decide, are you in or out, so that proper staffing and those kind of things could be addressed. No one likes to do that, but just to touch on about why it was done in the past, it's no different than almost anything else. The Spray Ground Park will be opened on Community Day. They're getting ready for a great opening. It's a safe environment. One of the greatest things that was built as well with funding. No taxpayers' money was used when that was done. But that's a great safe environment, folks, to take advantage of the Spray Ground Parks. And that's a great thing about the summer camp with the Spray Ground Parks. The kids can get wet. We've got an air-conditioned gymnasium and all breakout rooms, as well as we don't have any fear. We don't take the children off swimming off-site where there's a fear of drowning. We have a very safe and environmental area, safe for the children in the spray grounds. Of course, there's a guard on duty, and the children are in there safe, playing on a rubber bottom. We also have available lunch program. The recreation does not add that cost on to their camp, because in the years past, those who may not know this, and there's quite a few, the things you read in the shop or in your backpack, don't know really how it worked. In the years past, they used to make their own lunch at the rec. The kids didn't like it. Way before Ms. Pugliese got here, and they didn't like it. Ms. Pugliese brought back a lunch program. For a little less than $4 a day, a child can pick and choose what lunch they would like. A company brings it in. They do a very great job. It got well received last year. The child gets to pick. The parent goes online, can pay for it online. And whatever they want that day, they can pick. And it's done in a strategic manner so that when a child is ready for lunch, their lunch comes warm or just right, so it's not been sitting around for them. So, and this way you make sure your child ate because he ordered what he or she wanted. We're also right now, if you contact the Recreation Center, they also have available half-day options for you. That's never been done before. They're looking into the half-day options to help make things more accessible for you. So I would check out this great summer camp. I also had mentioned before, at my last meeting, the Recreation Department, Ms. Pugliese, has been working very close with Maureen Kanka, which is Megan's Law, with her daughter. She has a foundation, the Megan Nicole Kanka Foundation. One of the things that Ms. Pugliese was noted for, they reached out to us. As you all know, we fingerprint all our coaches and volunteers. Many municipalities do it. It was something that we've done for a while. That as well got criticized because it was using taxpayers' money. Again, that came out of the trust fund, had nothing to do with the tax levy. Well, the Recreation Department and Ms. Pugliese are being recognized by Maureen Kanka. She's going to reimburse the entire borough for all the fingerprinting for well over $5,000, and this will be continually ongoing as long as we continue fingerprinting the coaches. So now, it's not even a cost to the trust fund. This is a grant that Ms. Pugliese has secured. So I want to thank her on that, and I also want to thank Mrs. Kanka for all her daughter's foundations and so forth, and recognizing us for our efforts there. Getting back into some other items that I would like to touch on. Again, I appreciate the mayor and council indulging me here for a while. A number of things that stick out, and I have quite a few here, actually, if you see all my notes. But I'm going to touch on them, I guess, a little bit differently than I originally had planned. And a number of articles that I've been reading, that we've all been reading, I want to point out a few things, especially some articles, the recent article or even the letter that our superintendent sent home, doing some research. Of the years that the budget failed, whether I sat on council, or the mayor, or anybody else here, or in many of the years, Councilman Catamanga, who always had to abstain himself from it, the mayor and council has cut the budget. And every time they've cut it, it has never, ever been cut in areas that would affect education, teachers, books, photocopies, math books, any of those things that are essential to the everyday learning of the children in our community. I went back and I looked all the way back to 2005. I wasn't even on council then. In 2005 and 2006 and 2007, Budget was cut, if you add up all those numbers, the budget was cut over like almost $4 million. Of the few years that I've been now on council, and the budget, the last two, the budget has passed. Prior to that, it did fail twice. The last time it failed, we made an $800,000 cut. A cut that was accepted by the Board of Ed. They accepted the cut. As a matter of fact, we were going to a meeting. I received a phone call, said, it's a formality. The board is accepting the cut. And we deliberately picked out areas that had nothing to do to affect the child's education here in this community. No mayor and council would cut any budget that way to affect the education system. So when you hear that kind of information, and I have all that information here, that's quite false. No mayor and council likes to cut a budget, but that's what happens. Also, some other points I'd like to make, some other things that were written in the various articles or in letters. There's this discussion of, well, the recreation's a burden to the tax levy. I'll have you know, since 2005, our salary and wages continue to go down at the Recreation Center. Our rec director currently there does everything she can to help that make that happen, and wherever they can do that. Currently, right now, compared to 2005, we are down $97,000. It's a nice salary for somebody. Recreation and salary and wages is down. On average, since 2005, the Board of Recreation's operating expense budget, on average, is $65,000. That's it, folks. Once they hit that number, they're not going over it. All the recreation programs, since I've been on as liaison, when I came on as liaison, all the programs were in the red. Today, the only program that hits the red is Community Day. And I'm proud to report, since I'm going to mention Community Day, thanks to a lot of the great members of our community, our newly get going chamber, we're going to have a great Community Day planned. We've got over 40 vendors coming. The chamber quickly went into action and tried to get as many of the owners to come back. So the Community Day, who knows? And not that it's so much that it's in the black, folks. Not necessarily about making money either. But all of those losses had nothing to do with taxpayers. It would affect the trust fund. And by getting them where they need to be brought up to the levels, it helped to be able to expand and do new things and to enhance the programs. You know, recreation has changed a lot, folks. Today, it's not like when we all grew up as boys or girls where you went from season to season. Recreation has changed dramatically for all of us here. You know, in September, you played soccer or football in the fall. In the winter months, you went on to either wrestling, basketball, and then, of course, on the rise a few years back was taking up, karate and things like that. Then in the spring, you went right away to, baseball or softball, okay? Today, even at whether it's the grammar school level, elementary level, or even at the high school level, today, soccer is played all year round. I think they only take off during Christmas, and maybe not even then if they can get an indoor facility. Today, in spring sports, you have so much more at all levels. Today, you don't just have baseball and softball. In this community, we also have soccer now playing in the spring. You add in lacrosse. All these folks all want to get on the fields in their given towns, or get on the court. During the winter months, the soccer program wants to get in the gym. This one wants to get in there. This one wants that. This one wants this. And it's not very easy. That's why we're making upgraded English Ave Park. I was at the Recreation Center today, as a matter of fact. Our rec director was working very hard to secure field time at the county property. She was on the phone with one of the organizations saying, look, I know you're going to need time in the fall, because I know you're going to have your sport in the fall. What do you need from me? I don't know yet. We don't have the schedule. And that's very difficult for her. So she went ahead and blocked out time anyway, which is obviously could be done, but at the same time, trying to appease everybody. And this is the part that really gets under me, and that's why I mentioned about the 3 different groups. When a particular organization or group the chips don't go their way, doesn't fall their way, they get angry and they get upset. And then you have someone come along, you go, come here. I know, she ain't doing her job. Come over here. Let's go over to the school. They'll get you field time. They'll get you this. They'll get you that. And that's what's been happening, folks. A lot of it. Although people may even come up here tonight or there'll be another editorial or some of the letter in the shopper or a flyer that will go home. So that's not happening. That is what's happening. Even to where we are today with the summer camps. We have 2 summer camps now, okay? The Board of Recreation waited as long as they possibly could. The mayor and council had to vote on a resolution to hire people. We couldn't wait forever. You have to hire folks. These kids are coming home from college, or children are getting out of college locally. We try to hire as many as we can here from the area because they know the kids. They got to be hired. We have procedures that have to be done. What gets me is, and you know, you've read it in various things, and God knows I can go on and on and on. There's plenty to go on about. But when we finally had to pull the trigger, that we finally had to go. We had to go. We couldn't wait. Our flyers were at the Board of Ed waiting to be approved. Our time was waiting to be approved. At last month's, 2 months ago, it was the month of April, at that rec meeting, Tuesday, we said, look, we got to go. We're going to have to push forward. We can't wait. We're going to have to make a decision. Well, we made the decision. We're going to go ahead and put the summer camp, put everything back at the recreation center. That morning, before 9 o'clock in the morning, there was a Board of Ed member waiting at the recreation door, waiting for Ms. Pugliese to get out of a car, hand her a letter and say to her, I wanted you to hear it first from me. We're having our own summer camp. And that's what's aggravated me. And those of us that were at the meeting with the Board of Ed members that were present, that was the agenda from the get-go. Because you don't plan a summer camp overnight, folks. It doesn't happen. Just the last few things. First, I read the community newsletter article. The last paragraph, superintendent says, you know, he takes a lot of blame for things and so forth. And I appreciate that he wrote that. I feel I need to take some blame as well, because I'd like to apologize to Councilman Lou Vancino, because I'm not council president, he is. So I'm sorry that I keep stealing his title. Sorry about that, Lou.
It's okay.
But
You get a pass. Third time, watch out, third time.
third time, yeah. I know there's been quite a few. So anyway, folks, you know, at this point, I will hold up the rest of my report or the rest of the comments I'd like to make. I want to thank the folks that have been calling me or that have come by to see me, that they appreciate what I'm trying to do or what we're trying to say. And with that, I'll wrap it up, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Conboy. Mr. Vancino?
Sure. My hair was black 2 weeks ago, then they sort of called him council president, turned gray, I don't know what happened. First, I want to start with the New Jersey SEM. Over the last couple of months, I've been providing status on the status of the auctions. We secured the gas commodity auction, the contract, the street lighting contract. The one outstanding is the fixed account contracts, and we're hoping to have that auction completed by June 11th. So next couple of weeks or so, I'll have an update on that. And tomorrow, nearly 20 Bergen County youngsters with chronic illnesses will get to be chief for a day in their respective communities. And that'll come complete with uniforms, their own motorcade, a behind-the-scenes look at law enforcement. It's the first event of its kind in the county. And it was put together by the Bergen County Police Chiefs Association and the Bergen County Sheriff's Office, teaming with our local agencies and communities. And it'll be a very memorable day for some special youngsters. After getting their uniform, each youngster will be sworn in their local municipality as police chief. Patrol cars will escort them to Bergen County Justice Center, where they'll participate in a group ceremony, and from there go to Lodi Memorial Park for lunch and demonstrations by various county law enforcement specialty units such as the K-9, Mounted Police, etc. In Elmwood Park, we'll be participating in the Chief for a Day program, and 2 special youngsters, Jason and Justin Leader, will be acting as chief and deputy chief for our police department tomorrow. Jason and Justin will be picked up at their residence, and they'll be escorted by motorcade to the police department, where they'll be sworn in and giving a tour of our headquarters. They'll get some breakfast, and then they'll be off to the county for the festivities at the county, learn what the county does in law enforcement, culminating in the activities at the park, where they'll receive a plaque and a certificate. As police commissioner, I look forward to tomorrow. It'll be a very special day for two very special young men in Elmwood Park. And Councilman Conboy alluded to Community Day this Saturday. Please come out and enjoy the day. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend. My son is graduating high school on Saturday, so I'm 2/3 of the way to becoming an empty nester, so I'm quite excited. That's it, Mayor.
Is there anyone in the audience? I'd like to open it up to the public at this point. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak at this time? If not, I'll close the public portion of the meeting, and, no, I don't have a report.
Mayor, this evening, we need to go into executive session for purposes of PBA contract negotiations. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231, permits the exclusion from the public of a meeting in certain circumstances. And whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, and whereas the governing body wishes to discuss PBA contract negotiations, minutes will be kept, and once the matter involving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires that confidentiality, then the minutes can be made public. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the public be excluded from this meeting. Mayor will need a motion and a second to move.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Chewinski, Mr. Boncino, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered. May I have a motion to adjourn? Mr. Boncino, Mr. Chewinski, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Before we leave, I just want to comment again. If you want to view the meeting on cable, we also have it on our website. It's Channel 77, Tuesday, 12 noon, Thursday, 4 p.m., and Friday, 11 a.m. So thank you for those in attendance, and we appreciate your coming.
Mayor,
Meeting is adjourned.
just remind them about Community Day residents. Tomorrow, Saturday. Did we mention about Community Day?
Thank you.
Okay. It's a wrap.
Keith?
Yes, sir.
Maybe you want Noreen Best, her address and so forth for the CD?